What's up, everybody? One last little quick word on the Eagles game, Eagles and Seattle Seahawks game. But this is really a message to like some of the Eagles fans out there. This includes like media personalities and definitely for sure some of the other YouTubers who are on the Eagles. You see, one thing I've noticed is there's different types of fans, but for the most part, I would say I break fandom down into two different types, right? You got the one type of fan that becomes a fan of certain players, and the way they approach players is they either believe in a player or they don't believe in a player. So a player can like show them something early on, and then that causes them to like kind of believe in that player. And they'll believe in that player so much so to the point where like they're unable to recognize the true flaws of the player. Now, they may not readily always admit that, but really this ends up being the case. They can't recognize the flaws of the player. And when they can't recognize the flaws of the player, this can impede the way they judge a team or they judge a game. See what I mean? Like, for example, if you believe in Carson Wentz and you believe that the 2017 version of Carson Wentz, who really is somewhat an overrated player, and I'll give you why. Like, there's this idea that the 2017 Carson Wentz was really as efficient and as good as a top consistent quarterback like a Drew Brees or an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes or one of those types of guys, a Peyton Manning, when in reality Carson Wentz really wasn't that in 2017. Now, don't get me wrong, he was excellent in 2017 because at the end of the day, he was leading the league in touchdowns, and the Eagles had the leading record, right, in the league. However, when you really look deep at it, that offense was not this efficient, like machine that can't be stopped type of offense. What you had actually was a very strong running game, the best offensive line in football, and a quarterback who was absolutely supremely clutch on third down. This is what Carson Wentz was in 2017. If you look back, the Eagles were in a lot of situations where first and second down wasn't really as efficient as you want. We were in a lot of situations where Carson Wentz was in 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 15s, and he was able to always come through. And this is why the third down is considered, to be the money down. And this is the reality. Okay, so there's those who, based off of that year, they have this belief in Carson Wentz that's so, and this belief that causes them to like judge everything else around him in a way on a scale is different from the way they judge Carson, right? So then you'll hear the rhetoric of, well, the offensive line is the reason Carson Wentz struggles. The wide receivers are the reason Carson Wentz struggles. The lack of a running game are the reason Carson Wentz struggles. The coach is the reason Carson Wentz struggles, or his coordinator is the reason the offense struggles. Like Frank Reich did everything in 2017. And this is because people are just searching and reaching for reasons. Frank Reich was not a play caller in 2017, and nobody knows with any definitive proof what exactly Frank Reich used to do. Now, one could surmise based on the fact that Frank Reich runs the ball a lot in Indianapolis that he probably has something to do with the Eagles running the ball here. Maybe not. I don't know that. At the end of the day, Doug is still the head coach, so it will be his call anyway. So I don't really feed that much into the Frank Reich thing. Nobody was talking a lot about Frank Reich in 2017. You didn't hear that. It wasn't until the Eagles start to struggle after Carson Wentz's injury and him returning, and the offense not looking exactly the way it did in 2017, because Carson wasn't always coming through on third down, which is really the difference, that people started to, just give Frank Reich, searching for reasons and answers. Well, it was Frank Reich and not Doug Peterson. I don't buy into that. I understand that an offensive coordinator can help you plan out early in the week, but really on game day, when it's time to call plays, that was Doug doing that as far as I'm concerned. Until I see some concrete evidence, to the contrary. At any rate, a lot of our YouTubers, man, that you guys are listening to and that I've heard are just these Carson Wentz believers, right? And this is the one question I got for them. You know, what the hell are we, right? As a city, are we the Philadelphia Wentzes or are we the Philadelphia Eagles? That's my only question I got, you know, for these YouTubers out here that are making every excuse in the world for Carson Wentz, who are saying ridiculous things like, when Jalen Hurts came in, everything looked exactly the same. Number one, no, it didn't. But secondly, like, that's really the point, right? If it looked different, then you can blame those players. No, this is exactly what allows you to evaluate Carson Wentz. You know, I know a lot of these guys, you know, they think they're experts in football, but really a lot of them are really young balls, right? I've been watching since Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil was the first Eagles coach I remember. I remember the day when Dick Vermeil got fired, and he was actually the first man I ever saw cry. Okay, I go back that far. I've been through Randall, been through the nonsense, the Bubby Bristers and the Jim McMahons and you know, the Rodney Peets, right? And the Detmers, both Detmer brothers. Okay, I've seen all of that, so they come and go with me. I don't get caught up and attached with these players like that to the point where I'm just going to destroy everybody in order to to big up just the player because I have this belief in the player. No, I believe in what I'm seeing, right? And what I'm seeing right now is a Carson Wentz that has struggled for a whole season. You don't have great players struggling for whole seasons. Not like this. It doesn't happen, all right? What Jalen Hurts showed you was an ability to actually go out there and make reads faster and get the ball out quicker if you're really paying attention, right? I don't expect him to really succeed. I'm not stupid. I understand that his Eagles is not a good team. And I also recognize that the core problem of this team is not the coach, general manager, none of that. It's injuries, right? Now, if you're going to hold Howie Rose accountable for Deshaun Jackson being hurt, like he's supposed to have some damn crystal ball that tells him, do not sign Deshaun Jackson because he will inevitably be hurt, and he's ignoring that crystal ball, then yeah, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Howie's doing a great job, but what I'm saying is, like, really, the first problem is the injuries, then Howie Roseman, like not taking DK Metcalf and all that dumb shit that we all know about, right? At the end of the day, if Doug and Carson are like gotten rid of, really, it'll be as a result of a failure to overcome just a ridiculous amount of injuries. Like, the injuries are really the key. But we're fans. We don't care about injuries. So we should say get it done anyway. So in that context, this is really where I'm speaking, okay? Factoring in all of that, Jalen Hurts put together better drives than Carson Wentz. One drive was taken away from him from a bogus holding call on Sayamalu that Tony Romo in slow motion didn't see. There wasn't much there, right? That was the first drive with Jalen Hurts, but there was no flaw in his play during that drive, okay? Then the second drive we know was the touchdown drive, and this is what, after being put in all kinds of impossible situations as a result of like a push-off on Alshon Jeffrey, which I think was a little ticky-tack as well on the officials. Devontae Adams was doing that shit all day to slay, but I guess when you're a beast, they give you the benefit of the doubt. So in that situation, you got to remember, Jalen Hurts did that touchdown on a 4th and like a 19. All right? So you got, you know, come on, man. Get a young boy some credit. He coming here straight from, you know, Oklahoma to do that, right? This whole nonsense, I'm just tired of it. And I'm glad he got to play so that way we can properly, like, evaluate everybody. Like, for example, Jalen Reagor. Prior to this, Jalen Reagor ain't shit. Jalen Reagor shouldn't have got picked. Should have got Justin Jefferson. And I've been trying to tell you, I don't know that until I see another person throw the ball to him. And lo and behold, Jalen Reagor comes in. His first pass is a 40-something yard pass to Jalen Reagor, where Jalen Reagor looked like a perfectly good NFL receiver, right? What you need is competent quarterback play in order to tell if he can play or not. All of these up there, you know, you guys, you want to sit up here, man, and do these Eagles blogs and everything, and that's good. But like, let's be real. Don't sit up here and just have this love and everything and passion for players, right? We're about the Philadelphia Eagles first, man. First and foremost. And as a team, this team, if you want to be a team that is prestigious in any type of way, you need to have standards. Standards. You ever heard of that? Standards, right? There has to be a certain standard that you have to meet in order to be a starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that includes not stinking up the joint week after week after week after week after week after week. And I don't care about the player around you, because really, when evaluating a player, you should be able to separate, okay, the play of the actual player outside, separate from the situation going on around him. Like for example, if you look at Deshaun Watson has trash around him, bad coaching, and everything else in the world. But his personal play is good. However, they're still losing, which tells you what? This tells you that he's not the problem, that it's everyone else. With Carson Wentz, is not that. If Carson Wentz is playing bad and everyone else is playing bad, then you have to evaluate, okay, is everyone bad as a result of Carson Wentz, or is Carson Wentz as bad as a result of everyone else? You know why? And the hypocrisy with a lot of these guys here, the same guys who will tell you that it's not Carson Wentz, but it's the fact that his team is bad. These are the same guys that'll tell you when Carson Wentz went on that little 4-game winning streak at the end of the year last year against the NFC East. They will tell you, hey, look at what Carson Wentz did with third stringers. Like, a lot of these guys, they did videos, putting it out there that Carson Wentz, won 4 straight games and got his team to the playoffs, and he did it without one receiver who had 500 yards, right? I never did all that bullshit, because I know it's a bunch of bullshit. But you got some of these guys who did that, right? This shows they're just Carson Wentz lovers and not necessarily Philadelphia Eagles lovers, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, man. You want to keep it real. Jalen Hurts, we need to play him, because it could do one or two things. Number one, it could put a fire under Carson's belly. It makes him come back and actually play better. And also, it allows us to evaluate not only the rest of the team, but the quarterback position going into next year. Because right now, there's no way you can have it in your mind that Carson Wentz is definitely going to be the quarterback going forward. There's no way you could do that and be an organization of any type of competence. There's no way you could do that. His job has to at least be a question mark enough for grabs. And Jalen Hurts is the guy that'll compete for it with him. And if he's the type of guy, like, there's other excuse for Carson Wentz that, I'm going to be mad at Howie because he dared get someone in here to challenge Carson Wentz. Let me tell you something. If another player coming in here calls Carson Wentz to just fold, dude, that's not the type of motherfucker you need anyway to win a Super Bowl. That type of dude not going to win nothing for you. If he, you bring a little competition and he folds and turns into the worst quarterback, 30th and 31st in the league and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? If that's what happens, that's not what you need to win a Super Bowl anyway. So that's what I got to say to some of these YouTubers, man, these little young guys who really think they know football and think they're the best and all this kind of stuff. But in reality, you got a lot to learn, man. So till next time, I'm out.